Sandra Dee's life was a dazzling blend of Hollywood glamour, early success, deep personal struggles, and a bittersweet longing for the innocence that defined her image. Born Alexandra Zuck on April 23, 1942, in Bayonne, New Jersey, she grew up under the watchful eye of her ambitious mother, Mary Zuck. After her parents divorced, Mary took primary responsibility for raising her daughter, determined to mold her into a star. Recognizing Alexandra's natural beauty, charm, and poise, Mary pushed her into modeling at an early age. By the time she reached her preteen years, the girl who would become known as Sandra Dee had already graced the pages of magazines like Life and 17, representing iconic brands such as Girl Scout cookies and Coca-Cola. She was one of the highest-paid child models of her era, her smile and wholesome charm already capturing the public's imagination. But behind the sparkling image, there was pain. Sandra suffered from anorexia as a child, a condition fueled by the constant demand to remain thin in an industry obsessed with perfection. That battle would shadow her for the rest of her life. Even as she faced these struggles, her career momentum was unstoppable. At just 14 years old, she made her film debut in the 1957 melodrama Until They Sail, directed by Robert Wise. Her performance drew the attention of both audiences and critics, earning her a contract with Universal Pictures. From there, her rise was meteoric. Her breakout role came in 1959 with the lavish remake of Imitation of Life, where she starred alongside Lana Turner in a moving story about race, motherhood, and identity. Sandra's portrayal of Turner's daughter, a teenager wrestling with feelings of neglect, showcased her growing emotional range as an actress. That same year, she appeared in A Summer Place, a romantic drama that resonated deeply with audiences. Its lush score by Max Steiner became instantly iconic, and Sandra's role as Molly, a young woman caught between propriety and desire, made her an emblem of youthful innocence and longing. Throughout the early 1960s, Sandra Dee was box office gold. She starred in films like Gidget 1959, Tammy Tell Me True 1961, and If a Man Answers 1962. Gidget, in particular, became a cultural milestone, launching the beach party film genre and cementing Sandra's image as the carefree, all-American girl. Her big eyes, golden curls, and sunny personality made her a favorite among teen audiences and a staple in fan magazines. Yet this carefully constructed image limited her career, confining her to light romantic comedies and wholesome dramas when she longed for more challenging roles. In 1963, she appeared in Tammy and the Doctor, the final chapter in the beloved Tammy film series. The role, opposite Peter Fonda, was a perfect showcase for her charm, but also marked a shift as American cinema began embracing more complex themes. That same year, she starred in Take Her, She's Mine with James Stewart, playing a spirited young woman clashing with her overprotective father, a role that allowed her to blend comedy with more nuanced emotion. The film's box office success proved she still had a strong connection with audiences, but the winds of Hollywood were shifting. By the end of 1963, she was voted the 8th most popular star in the country by theater owners, but it was the last time she would rank in the top 10. As the mid-1960s unfolded, Hollywood's appetite turned toward edgier, socially relevant films. The squeaky clean image that had made Sandra famous was becoming outdated. In 1964, she starred in I'd Rather Be Rich, a light musical comedy produced by Ross Hunter. The following year, she appeared opposite her real-life husband, singer Bobby Darin, in That Funny Feeling. While audiences loved seeing the couple together, their marriage was beginning to unravel behind the scenes. In 1966, she made A Man Could Get Killed, a spy spoof marking the end of her long contract with Universal. The movie introduced the song Strangers in the Night, later made famous by Frank Sinatra, but for Sandra, it was a symbolic farewell to the studio system that had built her stardom. Sandra's personal life was as closely followed as her career. In 1960, she married Bobby Darin after meeting him during the filming of Come September. She was only 18, and despite her mother's objections, she eloped with the charismatic singer. Their marriage was a mix of passion and turmoil, complicated by the pressures of fame and their demanding schedules. They had one son, Dodd. In 1961, Sandra stepped back briefly from acting to focus on motherhood, but by 1967, the marriage ended. In divorce still, the bond between them never completely faded, and Bobby's death in 1973 left her deeply shaken. In her memoir, Sandra revealed a lesser-known chapter from her life of fleeting but intense romance with actor Troy Donahue. They met in 1960, both at the height of their fame, and while the studios initially played up the pairing for publicity, the connection between them was genuine. Troy's confidence, charisma, and rebellious streak offered Sandra a taste of freedom from the strict image control she had endured for years. Their relationship burned quickly and ended under the weight of Hollywood's demands, but she remembered him fondly as a beautiful, reckless storm who gave her moments of unguarded happiness. By the late 1960s, Sandra's career had slowed significantly. The next decades brought more personal battles than professional triumphs. She struggled with alcoholism, depression, and worsening anorexia. The death of her mother in 1987 was a devastating blow, sending her into deep isolation. At one point, her weight dropped to just 80 pounds, and her health deteriorated so severely that she began vomiting blood. Her son Dodd intervened, urging her into medical and psychiatric treatment, which began a slow path toward recovery. Though she expressed interest in returning to television, a full comeback never materialized. In 2000, she was diagnosed with kidney failure, the result of years of alcohol abuse and smoking. She stopped drinking but required dialysis for the rest of her life. Sandra Dee passed away on February 20, 2005, at the age of 62, from complications related to kidney disease. She was laid to rest at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in the Hollywood Hills, surrounded by the history of the industry that had shaped and at times consumed her life. Sandra Dee remains a symbol of a bygone era in Hollywood, remembered for her innocence, beauty, and the bittersweet arc of her career. Behind the glamour was a woman who faced extraordinary pressures, battled private pain, and found her greatest joy in her son. Though the world remembers her as the sweet-faced girl next door, her true story is one of resilience, vulnerability, and quiet courage.